Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be talking about the near-term and long-term technical analysis for the top 5 cryptos out there. Our main goal here at Altcoin Mentors is to help as many people as possible achieve their goal of financial freedom. We believe trading cryptocurrencies is an opportunity of a lifetime. By the end of this video, you should have a better idea of where Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, and Litecoin are going in the near-term and long-term future. If you like our videos, please follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. We also have a model portfolio so you can view our positions and progress. The link is down below. If you'd like to be notified of our latest videos, please hit the bell button. All right, so let's talk about where things are at now. So last week on Twitter, if you don't follow us on Twitter, you should. I put a lot of good stuff out there. So last week, I talked about how if Bitcoin breaks 8950, there would be some pain down to 8400. And that's exactly what happened. And I'll tell you why I thought that and how I got to that conclusion. So let's look at Bitcoin from a long-term perspective. So the long-term perspective still looks very good. The weekly charts did confirm the upside. We have a negative candle this week, but it's okay because this candle over here, even though it's blue, at one time it was magenta. It had gone down because the low is lower than the previous low over here. So this was not a good candle. So people might have gotten a little bit, worried over here, just like they're getting over here. But until it actually confirms to the downside of another downward move, then there's nothing to really worry about. So that's why I talked about how this is not the beginning of a downturn. Maybe next week might be, or the week after. But for now, we're still pretty good. We're above 8620. I think we're at almost 8800 right now. So until it breaks 8200 to the downside and 7700 after that, which is a major support, then we should still be looking for a nice upward move to the upside. So eventually, it'll probably get to 11.7, which is the next major resistance line. And then if it breaks that, then up to the 20,000 range once again. So we'll end up seeing what happens. So look at this on a shorter time frame. So on the dailies, it looks okay. It doesn't look terrible. It's just that right now, we are channeling over here to the downside. So if you look at it over here, right, you can see that just went up, it went down, but now we have a little bit of a support. So today is our first color change to the upside. If it confirms tomorrow or the next day, it'll be a very good sign back up to 9,400. If you look at a smaller time frame, you'll see that we are creating new higher highs. There we go. And so when people say, like, why am I still bullish on Bitcoin and most of the cryptos in general, it's because the long term is still positive, the medium term is neutral, only the short term is a little bit negative. But if it keeps on going higher and it passes 8,900, 9,000 to the top, then Bitcoin's short term is also going to turn positive. So here, when you look at the wave counts, I don't really use Elliott wave, but I do like higher highs and higher lows for the waves, not just for price. Right, so here we have lower lows for waves. And then here we have a lower high. But then here we have a higher low. So this, looks like a little wedge over here, but it broke through to the top. Then now we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And if we can break above 8,900 up to the top, then it looks like it'll go back up to 9,000 and back up to 9,400 and to test it. So let's look at Ether. So Ether on the long term looks really good. All the candles on the weekly basis are still positive. So that looks really good. It has some headwind here at the 785, which is a major resistance. But if it can pass that, then the next targets are 980 and 1262 to the top. So on the dailies, it looks even better because it confirmed yesterday to the upside. And today, if it follows through, then 785 is really within sight. And if you look at the short term, it looks much better than Bitcoin because the higher highs have really come in on the waves. So you see it went down. It didn't go as deep as some other of the coins. It rallied a little bit. It made a double bottom over here, and then it started going back up to the top. And as it goes higher and higher, if it breaks 740 over here, back up to 785. Let's look at the Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is looking a little bit negative this week. Today, I believe, is the fork for Bitcoin Cash. So I have no idea what's going to happen with it. But people are excited. At this, some people said that Bitcoin Cash before the fork might go up to 4,000. Obviously, it hasn't. But we'll see what happens. Maybe after the fork, something will happen. If it starts to dump and there's no more liquidity, I'm going to be looking at another chart because I want to have things that I can trade. So I don't want to look at charts that I will not trade on a personal basis because then it's a waste of time for everybody. So hope you're enjoying our video so far. Please subscribe to our channel and follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them in the comment section below. Okay, so let's go to EOS. So one of the things you'll notice is that I stopped charting Ripple. I'm not trading Ripple anymore, so I stopped charting it. So even though Ripple has a nice market cap, the problem right now for Ripple is, I talked about it in the last couple of videos, is because of what happened with some of the ranges, unexpected ranges. Most of the people that I know are not trading Ripple anymore. So volume has really died and it's become really stagnant. And for me, volatility is great, but you also need to have volume. You also need to be able to go in and out. And what has shown with the major wicks on Ripple up and down is that there's no volume, because what happens is that a small amount of volume can have a adverse effect on Ripple one way or the other. And if it goes against you too much, then it's harder and harder to trade. Trading itself is a challenge, but when you have all these obstacles in your way, it becomes even harder and it almost becomes impossible. So when I look at the charts for Ripple and I look at the volume levels there, for me it's impossible personally for me to trade Ripple. So I started looking at EOS. EOS was something I looked at a long time ago. EOS has a nice move up to the top. It had a nice little rally on a weekly basis. It still looks good. It had this one long bar. And so if you look at it here, that's why there's really nothing to worry about. I know the bar is scary for some people because it goes up from 23 all the way down to $9. But anything that happens within this range is still just range. It's nothing to really be spooked about. So I still believe that's going to go a little bit higher until it breaks maybe $12 to the bottom, which it almost did before, but it had a nice little rally, and that's what I'll talk about here. So on the rally, if you look at it here, you see it hit the 50 on the daily EMA, right on the button, right there, and then it started rallying up. If it can continue to go a little bit higher, if it can break 14.8, it will have a new color change and confirmation, not confirmation, but a color change, a signal, right, to the upside. So that looks pretty good. And if you look at the 30-minute here, right, a little shorter time frame, right, it looks pretty good. So we have lower lows here. We have a lower high, but now we have a lower low. So if it can break this level here at 15.2, then it looks like it can rally back up to the high teens once again. Lastly, we'll look at the Litecoin. Litecoin was a little bit late to the party on a weekly basis, but it still looks pretty good. So here the range is pretty good on a weekly basis. And the funny thing about Litecoin is if you look at this massive coin here, massive candle here in December, this is a 1 week candle. And if you look at the range, everything is within that range. It's very funny. Let's see if it happens with Bitcoin as well. I don't think so. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting too. So Bitcoin, see this little weekly candle down to the bottom here? Everything so far is within that range right there. But for Litecoin, it goes all the way back to December. So we're within that little range there. So this is a little bit noise, and it hit the 50 on the weekly, and it's been hovering around there, and now it looks like it's going to bounce and go up to the top. Look at the dailies. The dailies look pretty decent. It had a color change yesterday, so this was our signal bar. So that means that if it confirms at 153, there will be a nice move back up to the top, and maybe it'll go back up to 200 to the top. Over here, on a short-term level, I think it looks very good because we have new highs. So here you can see the difference, right? So it goes down, but then we have a higher high. We had almost a little bit of a fake out over here, but we had nice support at 137. It starts going higher, and now we have a lower low, and it starts going higher. And if it goes past 154, it can go back up to 160, and then up to 175. So once again, we thank you very much for watching. If you like our videos, please share it with your friends and other crypto traders. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. If you have any questions, please ask away in the comment section below. We do a very good job of answering all of our comments and questions right away. Thank you again for watching, and see you in our next video.